The breaking news we seem to be about to break, hasn't actually happened yet, is that Kwasi Kwarteng is going to be sacked at some point this afternoon, probably before 2 p.m, when Liz Truss is supposed to be giving a press conference to explain what it is that she's now going to do about the mini-budget, which appears to now be completely in tatters, which appears now to be the subject of another U-turn at the very least on corporation tax. It looks very much as though there will be a new Chancellor announced this afternoon at that press conference, at which point I think everybody will just collectively throw their hands in the air and just exhale a big sigh. Because this is a government, ladies and gentlemen, that does not appear to even know what it's going to do in the next 2 hours, never mind in the next 2 days, never mind in the next 2 weeks. Let's talk to Ryan Saby, Deputy Police Treasurer at The Sun. Ryan, a very good afternoon to you. Fast-moving things at the moment. What are you hearing?
Yeah, it seems that we'll get the confirmation that Kwasi Kwarteng will be sacked as Chancellor in the next hour or so. I imagine, like most sackings, when it comes to cabinet level, it's the Prime Minister who likes to do it face to face. You always hear during those reshuffles that the ministers get trundled up into the Prime Minister's office to be told they're no longer welcome or they're no longer part of the government, and I imagine that's probably what's happening now. Kwasi Kwarteng arrived at Heathrow about an hour or so ago, has made his way to Downing Street, he's right there now, and I imagine the dirty business of the sacking is happening as we speak, or is about to.
Now, the problem, I suspect, for Liz Truss, though, is that over the last week or so, she and Kwasi Kwarteng have been sort of joined at the hip as the only two people who were really sticking up for the policies that they announced in the mini-budget. So she can hardly separate herself from it, can she?
No, this is the really difficult point for Liz Truss. She built her leadership campaign on these big tax cuts. Kwasi Kwarteng was with her every single step of the way. And even Downing Street this morning, we're talking about 3 or 4 hours ago, we're saying Kwasi and Liz Truss were in lockstep and they're working together on this plan. So how she extricates herself from this is very, very difficult. And she'll do her best to sort of reset her premiership in a way when she holds this press conference, but really she's tied to these decisions, and it's almost painful to watch.
It's incredible to watch, isn't it? I mean, because if she does reverse, as is being tanked around, that she is likely to reverse the corporation tax decision and put it up to 25% from 19%, she's basically going against her own advice. She spent a great deal of time in hustings, some of which you guys organised, some of which we did, you know, explaining why cutting taxes was the way to growth, explaining why Rishi Sunak's plans to kind of borrow more money and to somehow keep giving money away was not the answer. Well, she's now basically said that everything that she campaigned for is a load of rubbish. Yeah,
this was the centrepiece. You know, she went up and down the country, the hustings, telling them exactly what her plans were. This was her part of her plan for growth. The markets have been in absolute turmoil over the past few weeks, and she's got to try and find a way out of this. But the trouble with all these decisions is that her authority is absolutely shot. If she can't get the centrepiece of her leadership campaign and what she's talked up in the past few weeks, where does she stand? And where does this leave all those Tory MPs who are circling at the moment? And where does that leave them in terms of who they want to see, whether they want to see her carry on as leader or whether they want to see someone else in charge?
And if this is all a pooch, if you like, by the Rishi Sunak brigade and his supporters, people who thought that he would be better put in charge of the economy, where does he figure in all of this? Is there a chance that he gets asked back to be Chancellor under Liz Truss?
I find it very, very difficult to see Rishi Sunak coming back in any way. He was asked this during over the summer. She had the opportunity to put him into cabinet, and obviously that wasn't forthcoming. But there has been talk of Tory MPs trying to come up with a dream ticket, and the two names that keep coming up, Penny Mordaunt and Rishi Sunak. You'd have Rishi as Prime Minister and Penny Mordaunt as the Chancellor. But again, is that really going to unite the party? You then have all the Liz Truss fans and supporters in the party who would be absolutely aghast at this. Yeah. So actually holding that coalition together is going to get increasingly difficult as I say, as the days and weeks go on, as the hours go on.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, this is it.
So
I mean, I wasn't, I didn't have my tongue in my cheek when I said they don't even seem to know what they're going to do over the next 2 hours, never mind over the next 2 days. But I mean, I don't see how unity is achieved by putting a man in charge who was not elected in a fair election. He lost that election inside the Conservative Party. Enough people have said that that's not enough people to elect a Prime Minister of this country. Surely to put somebody in who didn't even win the election of just a few thousand people, if you like, that's not going to unite the party, never mind, it's certainly not going to unite the country.
No, exactly. And I think if you look back at what would the Tory members do? I mean, they'd be ripping up their cards and leaving a pace. I just can't see Rishi Sunak coming back under a Liz Truss government. And this is the Tory MPs and even the ministers are really, really angry at the way that she didn't try and make that church broad, that Conservative Party and that government broad, and invite Rishi Sunak supporters, those who backed him in the leadership contest, into government. And that's one of her main failings, really. I think if she had set out from the very, very beginning that she wanted to be an all-encompassing government and reflect the whole party, I think she'd be in a better position than what she is today.
I think you're absolutely right. Listen, Ryan, I know you've got a busy time ahead of you this afternoon. Thanks very much for sparing a few minutes to speak to us. Ryan Saby, Deputy Solicitor of The Sun. We await news, confirmed news, that Kwasi Kwarteng has been fired.